Are you Anso?
Ah! Sweet mother of Parth. You can't just run up on someone like that. Are you the one that mercenary told me about? The one looking for work?
I used to work with the Red Iron, if that's what you mean.
Yes, it is. What I mean, that is... My apologies, human. I haven't been on the surface very long. I keep thinking I'll fall up into that sky any minute.
Bartrand used to be like that. Got jumpy every time he stepped outside.
I'd pay to see that.
But I digress. I need some help. Rather badly, in fact. Some product of mine has been misplaced. The men who were supposed to deliver it decided not to. If you retrieve my property, I could reward you handsomely.
Just what did these men steal?
Did I say steal? I don't know if I would go that far. They seemed like perfectly reasonable smugglers. They smiled and everything. The goods are valuable, however, and illegal. And my client wants them very, very badly. You know how these Templars can be.
You're smuggling lyrium to the Templars?
Of course he is. That's just bloody great.
Shh! By the Paragons, not so loudly. My word. I'm not cut out for this. I should have taken that job sweeping stables like Mother insisted.
I'll get it back for you.
Sure. Add it to the list of things I'm accessory to.
Oh, thank goodness. The gentlemen conduct their business at night in a little hovel within the alienage. If you have to kill them, then I guess it can't be avoided. But I'm sure they'll be reasonable.
It's empty.
Waste of bloody time. Who put us up to this?
I guess we have no choice but to go back to Anso and tell him.
That's not the elf. Who is that?
It doesn't matter. We were told to kill whoever enters the house. I don't know who you are, friend, but you made a serious mistake coming here.
Lieutenant, I want everyone in the clearing, now!
Captain!
Your men are dead, and your trap has failed. I suggest running back to your master while you can.
You're going nowhere, slave.
I am not a slave. I apologize. When I asked Anso to provide a distraction for the hunters, I had no idea they'd be so numerous.
You were responsible for this.
I'm the reason you're here, yes. My name is Fenris. These men were Imperial bounty hunters, seeking to recover a Magister's lost property, namely myself. They were trying to lure me into the open. Crude as their methods were, I could not face them alone. Thankfully, Anso chose wisely.
That seems like a lot of effort to find one slave.
It is.
Does this have something to do with those markings?
Yes. I imagine I must look strange to you. I did not receive these markings by choice. Even so, they have served me well. Without them, I would still be a slave.
If you couldn't fight them, why not just run?
There comes a time when you must stop running, when you turn and face the tiger.
Everything Anso said was a lie, then?
Not everything. Your employer was simply not who you believed.
If they were really trying to recapture you, then I'm happy I helped.
I have met few in my travels who have sought anything more than personal gain. If I may ask, what was in the chest, the one they kept in the house?
It was empty.
I suppose it was too much to hope for. Even so, I had to know.
You're expecting something else?
I was, but I shouldn't have. It was bait, nothing more.
You didn't need to lie to get my help.
That remains to be seen. It's as I thought. My former master accompanied them to the city. I know you have questions, but I must confront him before he flees. I will need your help.
It sounds like you intend to do more than just talk.
Denarius wants to strip the flesh from my bones, and has sent so many hunters that I've lost count. And before that, he kept me on a leash like a Qunari mage, a personal pet to mock Qunari custom. So, yes, I intend to do more than just talk.
If it means fighting more slavers, I'll help you.
I will find a way to repay you. I swear it. The Magister is staying at a mansion in Hightown. Meet me there as soon as you can. We must enter before morning. No one has left the mansion, but I've heard nothing within. Denarius may know we're here. I wouldn't put it past him.
I could stand to know a little more about this Denarius.
He is a Magister of the Tevinter Imperium.
Oh, is that all? Nothing to worry about, then.
There, he is a wealthy mage with great influence. Here, he is but a man who sweats like any other when death comes for him.
He may have prepared some magical defenses.
They will not keep me from him.
Where are you, Master?
Gone. I'd hoped... No, it doesn't matter any longer. I assume Denarius left valuables behind. Take them if you wish. I need some air. It never ends. I escaped a land of dark magic, only to have it hunt me at every turn. It is a plague burned into my flesh and my soul. And now I find myself in the company of yet another mage. I saw you casting spells inside. I should have realized sooner what you really were. Tell me then, what manner of mage are you? What is it that you seek?
I'm just trying to get by.
Yet I have seen many crimes done in the name of survival.
Not all mages are alike, or I'd be the first to act.
I imagine I appear ungrateful. If so, I apologize, for nothing could be further from the truth. I did not find Denarius, but I still owe you a debt. Here is all the coin I have, as Anso promised. Should you find yourself in need of assistance, I would gladly render it.
Your old master must want something more than just a runaway slave.
He doesn't want me at all, just the markings on my skin. They are lyrium, burned into my flesh to provide the power that Denarius required of his pet. And now he wishes his precious investment returned, even if he must rip it from my corpse.
Seems like a waste of a perfectly handsome elf.
The truth is, I know nothing of the ritual that placed these markings on me. It was Denarius's choice, one he now regrets.
You've said Daenerys is a magister, but little else.
In Tevinter, the Magisters hold all the power. Over the Chantry, over the Imperial Court, over life itself. It is nothing for one to own a slave. Daenerys had many, but none he valued so much as me.
Then how did you get away?
Is it not enough that I did? I carved my path to freedom in blood. I left that life behind. Yet his bounty hunters follow me no matter where I go. I will run no longer.
I've seen some of your abilities. Do they come from those markings?
Some. All I know is that even in the Imperium, warriors such as myself are rare. Perhaps they believe I should feel honored.
Do you think your master will keep chasing you?
He is too proud not to. Perhaps one day the hunt will cost him more than he is willing to pay. But I doubt that matters any longer.
You didn't seem all that thrilled with me a moment ago.
You are not Daenerys. Whether you are anything like him remains to be seen.
I'm planning an expedition I might need help with.
Fair enough. Should you ever have need of me, I will be here. If Daenerys wishes his mansion back, he is free to return and claim it. Beyond that, I am at your disposal. Agrigio Pavali. There are 6 bottles in the cellar. Daenerys used to have me pour it for his guests. My appearance intimidated them, he said, which he enjoyed.
I can't imagine why they would be put off.
You say what's on your mind. I'll give you that. It's good I can still take pleasure in the small things.
You could have offered me a glass first, you know.
There's more, if you're really interested.
Perish the thought. How else would you redecorate the walls?
I've wanted to leave my past behind me, but it won't stay there. Tell me, have you never wanted to return to Ferelden?
I grew up in Ferelden. It will always be my home.
The Blight is over. You could rebuild what you lost. Do you truly not want to?
My mother came from Kirkwall. Our heritage is here.
Having a place where you can put down roots, I understand. Still, to have the option must be gratifying.
Do you intend to keep living here?
I haven't decided. For now, it's as good as any other place. I would return to Saharan if I could, but there is no life for me there.
Is that where you're from?
So I've been told.
Were you very young when you left then?
Perhaps.
You could track your former master down, I assume.
I imagine he has returned to Minrathous, though I dare not go near the city while he is alive. No, it is better to wait for him to leave his fortress, fight from a fortified position. I do not expect your help when that day comes, but I would not turn it aside.
You've been on the run a long time then.
3 years now. Daenerys has a way of finding me. Perhaps it is the markings. Whatever the means, it never takes him long to follow. This is the first time I've given him reason to pause. I suppose there are advantages in numbers.
Haven't you sought help before?
Hirelings, when I could steal the coin. Never anyone of substance. Until you. Daenerys will not give up, however. I await his return.
What if he does give up? What then?
Then I go to him. I will not live with a wolf at my back.
Sounds like the right idea to me.
If it comes to that, I doubt it will.
If you're looking to start a life, you could stay.
I could see myself staying, for the right reasons. I should thank you again for helping me against the hunters. Had I known Anso would find me a man so capable, I might have asked him to look sooner.
Maybe I should be thanking Anso.
Maybe you should. Perhaps I'll practice my flattery for your next visit. With any luck, I'll become better at it.
Hand out trophies for the best scowls?
I'm not brooding.
Moping, then. You seem like you're a champion at it.
I'm perfectly content at the moment.
Oh, so that's you smiling. Glad you clarified that. I'd never have known. He's in your honor.
You're a very odd dwarf.
And you thought I was joking about the pin.
You want to make your friend an apostate?
That's such a weighted term. Yes, Andraste said magic should serve man, not rule him. But I've yet to find a mage who wants to rule anything. It goes against no will of the Maker for mages to live as free as other men.
Forcing mages into servitude is not the way to prevent the rise of another Imperium.
Letting them do as they please is hardly a better path.
That's not usually the response I get. Perhaps we will work together better than I expected.
This is obviously difficult for you.
I thought I was helping my friend. He would have died, I guess. If that even means anything. And he wanted to help me. He knew what mages have suffered.
Of course. No harm ever comes from good intentions, even when magic is involved.
Normally, I would argue that. I wanted to do well by justice, I really did.
An abomination.
Why don't you shout? I don't think everyone heard you.
Do you see yourself as harmless, then? An abomination who would never harm anyone?
Like ripping someone's heart out of his chest?
I did that at the behest of no demon.
So we agree that it doesn't take a demon for someone to be a vicious killer. Good.
What do you mean you can't help me?
This is a domestic matter, Sirrah. If your wife has chosen to leave you, there's nothing we can do.
Ninette is my wife. She's legally bound to me. Bring her back.
We're done here.
Useless. Why are we still paying those sluggards?
Your wife is missing. I can try to find her if you like.
Yes. Oh, I have been waiting for someone to say that. That foolish woman has caused me nothing but embarrassment. She needs to be dragged home.
I can't imagine why she might run away.
Yes, my wife and I don't get along.
You ever going to stop harping on the mages here?
No.
They aren't what you saw in Tevinter.
The moment they are free, mages will make themselves magisters.
They're slaves. You should want to help them.
I don't. I've heard about the Circle of Magi outside of the Imperium, but I've never been in one. Are you certain it's wise for you to be here?
Maybe not. But we'll be cautious.
This seems more like a prison. I wonder if it's more effective than the Circle I know.
How is the Imperial Circle of Magi different?
Once upon a time, it was as it is here. The Chantry watched the Magisters closely for any signs of corruption or weakness. Then it changed. The Magisters were permitted to watch over their own, and Templars kept only to enforce the law. What happened next was inevitable. The Magisters rule again, as powerful as they ever were.
You said the Chantry used to watch the Magisters. Why did they stop?
You must remember that the attitude towards magic is different in Tevinter. Magisters came from wealthy families, bloodlines that had nurtured magical talent for countless generations. The Chantry was not trying to control poor peasants, but the scions of the greatest houses in the Imperium.
I thought the Magisters had been thrown down by the Chantry.
On the contrary, Andraste never defeated the Imperium. A great army conquered the south, but not the north. The Magisters eventually surrendered to the Chantry, but they did so on their terms. They kept their influence. Thus, they reclaimed what they lost over the centuries. Some battles are lost by inches.
You talk about the Magisters as if they are all evil.
I have no doubt that some are good and noble men, strong enough to resist temptation. But how many temptations do you wish to offer a man before he will give in? Blood magic is everywhere in Tevinter, from the lowliest apprentice up to the Archon himself.
You can't have seen this for yourself.
Daenerys talked about it often. Of course, they say it's forbidden. Behind the smiles and closed doors, however, it's a different matter. To be a Magister in Tevinter is to be glorious. To be a powerful Magister in Tevinter, that is worth any price.
You're saying the same thing could happen here?
If the mages were permitted to be their own watchers, of course. It is too easy for a mage to resort to blood magic if they feel the need is great enough.
As easy as it is to resort to a sword. You were created as a living weapon. Should you not be trusted with your freedom?
My powers are not controlled by a demon. A mage can desire power, justice, revenge, protection. Any cause will do, and then they are lost.
You can't say every mage is corrupt.
All I am saying is the Imperium offers no answer. All that Andraste did long ago to end the tyranny of magic has been undone.
She ended the tyranny of magic and replaced it with an entirely new one.
Considering all that magic has done to my homeland and my race, I weep for your predicament. Power corrupts, as they say, and mages have power enough already.
According to everything I've seen, the Circle can't control mages anyhow.
And what is the alternative? Freedom is a noble ideal, but I see no oppression here. I see fear and danger. But enough. I'm sure we came here for a reason.
You might want to see this. This was left in the foundry you mentioned in your notes. I was also attacked by shades.
These are human bones. Then there is no chance of finding Meren alive, or any of the others.
This isn't over. I'm going to get the bastard that did this.
I know how you feel, Sirrah.
Surely those in power will believe you now.
I will bring this to the city guard immediately. It should be enough to convince them the disappearances are worth investigating.
You can trust me. I'm only trying to keep Karen safe.
I hear that Knight Commander Meredith has some new initiation you have to go through. If you're not strong enough or fervent enough in belief, you don't make it out alive.
Figures.
Seems to me a weak Templar would die just as quickly. Why was your friend made tranquil? Do you know?
No, and it doesn't matter. Nobody deserves that.
I know some mages who deserve that.
Really? Perhaps they should start making slaves tranquil. Then they wouldn't dream of escaping. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Slaves do not attract demons that try to possess them.
Which clearly justifies it. What a perfect solution.
Someone's always trying to claim the streets. If you make them safe to travel at night, someone will reward you.
Old Shemlin, your kind are not welcome among the Dalish.
What's a Shemlin?
It is the elven word for human.
It means you're not one of the people, and you should leave now.
Who are you people?
We are the last of the Elven.
So you say, frequently.
We remember who the people truly are, even as you city elves forget.
I was given an amulet for someone named Marathari.
How do you know that name?
Wait, this is the one the Keeper spoke of.
A Shyamalan? I thought he'd be an elf.
Enter the camp. Keeper Marithari has been waiting for you.
Cause trouble, and you'll meet our blades, stranger.
I didn't mention you were a mage.
I imagine it's difficult to give away something nobody wants.
All keepers know a bit of old magic. The stories tell us that all Elven once had the gift. But like so many things, it was lost. It's a keeper's job to remember, to restore what we can. I can open the way forward. One moment.
Blood magic? Foolish. Very foolish.
Yes, it was blood magic, but I know what I'm doing. The spirit helped us, didn't it?
Call it what it is. You summoned a demon.
Demons are just spirits, like honor or joy. It's not their fault they are what they are.
Ignore the tiger. Not its fault that it's going to eat you. Sound advice.
Be careful up ahead. Restless things prowl the heights. Aharin amalana sale. Emma ira au bella zaviranan. Isalahamin vinanhim dofilas. In usanera narivas.
And here we are. Witch.
Calm yourself. We know this one.
Andarana Tishan Ashabalana.
One of the people. I see. So young and bright. Do you know who I am beyond that title?
I know only a little.
Then stand. The people bend their knee too quickly. So refreshing to see someone who keeps their end of a bargain. I half expected my amulet to end up in a merchant's pocket.
I agreed to deliver the amulet, though you could have told me you were inside it.
Just a piece. A small piece, but it was all I needed. A bit of security, should the inevitable occur. And if I know my Morrigan, it already has.
Is that someone I should know?
She's a girl who thinks she knows what is what better than I or anyone. And why not? I raised her to be as she is. I cannot expect her to be less.
I'm not sure whether she's your daughter or your enemy.
Neither is she.
Why did you need me to bring you here?
Because I had an appointment to keep. And because I did not want to be followed. You smuggled me here quite nicely.
I don't understand. Are you some kind of vision?
Must I be in only one place? Bodies are such limiting things. I am but a fragment cast adrift from the whole, a bit of flotsam to cling to in the storm.
A fragment?
You do not need to understand, child. Know only that you may have saved my life, just as I once saved yours. An even trade, I think.
You are no simple witch.
Figured that out yourself, did you?
I have seen powerful mages, spirits, and abominations, but you are none of those things. What are you?
Such a curious land. The chains are broken, but are you truly free?
You see a great deal.
I am a fly in the ointment. I am a whisper in the shadows. I am also an old, old woman. More than that, you need not know.
You have plans, I take it?
Destiny awaits us both, dear boy. We have much to do. Before I go, a word of advice. We stand upon the precipice of change. The world fears the inevitable plummet into the abyss. Watch for that moment, and when it comes, do not hesitate to leap. It is only when you fall that you learn whether you can fly.
What should I do?
Do as I do. Become a dragon. You could never be a dragon. As for you, child, step carefully. No path is darker than when your eyes are shut.
Maceranus Ashabelinar.
Now the time has come for me to leave. You have my thanks and my sympathy.
Elganon. Is this really where the elves live?
Yes, this is it.
Not the prettiest part of Kirkwall, but it doesn't have a view of the giant chains. Take what you can get.
Why, look here, boys. Volunteers. Clap them in irons and let's see what the Tevinters will pay for them.
Make him talk.
I can do that.
Andraste's great flaming ass! How did you do that? Never mind, I've stashed the boy in a cave, a smuggler hideout on the Wounded Coast. Tevinters will be by to finish the deal today. Now, can I go?
I let you live, and I condemn countless innocents to slavery.
Take one more step, and the boy dies.
Fenriel, go limp. I will not let him kill you.
Time to die, little man.
You're no good to me as a corpse. Get down.
You killed him. Oh, Decimus. You should have listened to me, love. I saw what you are. How could you murder one of your own just for daring to defy the Templars?
He obviously meant a lot to you.
He was our future. Until he came, we never thought to fight back. I told Decimus he was going too far, but he said it was the only way to protect us. To protect me.
Are we supposed to believe that you had no part in his actions?
I swear to you, I have had no truck with demons. Please, we only want our freedom. Without your help, the Templars will execute us all for Decimus's crimes.
If not in the Circle, how do you intend to live?
I hear there are places outside the Free Marches where the Templars are not so vigilant.
I would never turn a fellow mage over to the Templars.
Then we must first throw off pursuit. There is a Templar who followed us. You must have met him when you entered. Kill him, and we can get clear of Kirkwall before the Templars send more men.
Better the death of one Templar than so many innocents.
Yes, let's murder a Templar. Surely that will help.
Will you buy us time to flee Kirkwall?
I will do what I can to help, but not at the cost of Thrask's life.
If you will not kill him, then you must convince him you killed us. That is our only hope. But I spent 2 weeks traveling with these Templars. They strike first and think after. They are far easier to kill than to fool.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Ah, my right hand arrives. Summon your Arashak. The bargain is done. About time you showed. I've been here for hours.
Ari Shokost, Maras Shokra, Anan Isamkyun.
The Kyun from an elf? The madness of this place.
Friend of yours?
Friend of no one.
Yes, well, that said, I'm here to report that your hated Talvishoth were felled, one and all, right? Yes, they were. So, I'm ready to open negotiations for the explosive powder, as we agreed.
No.
He's not getting it. Make your chatty elf say something.
Any insight that would help?
Kunari do not abandon a debt. I humbly request clarification from the Arishok.
I have a growing lack of disgust for you. The dwarf imagined the deal for the Gatlock. He invented a task to prove his worth when he has none.
Then we have wrongly inserted ourselves in your affairs. Would you have us kill this dwarf?
Wait, what now?
If you face Talvishoth, he is not worthy of dying to you, as he was not worthy of dying to them. But you keep good company. Let him live, and leave.
You may want to take this opportunity to go.
But he has to sell. It's a product. People want it.
There is no profit in empowering those not of the Kyun. The means of creating the Gatlock is ours alone. It shall be dispensed only to our enemies, in the traditional manner.
You are a frustrating people. And you're fired. Sodding bunch of oxmen and doglords. A whole lot breathing smoke. Pah.
You will leave as well, human. There's no more coin for you here.
Why are you watching me like that?
You have Valasleen. The same markings that the Dalish have.
Yours are not made of lyrium.
No, they're made of blood. Our blood. That's what Valasleen means. Blood writing. It's a mark of adulthood.
Mine were carved into my flesh against my will, in a ritual I remember only for the agony it caused me.
I'm so sorry.
Here, miss. Word is you're looking for help. And paying well.
I need someone native to the dark places beneath Lowtown. If you claim as much, yes, I will pay.
I am. Let's just step into this alley, and me and my fellows can have a look at the money on offer.
She has chosen poorly.
It does appear she could use some help, especially now. The danger has passed, Katojan. Calm yourself. Did you react because your lead was threatened?
I know that kind of blind instinct. It is hard to judge how much control he has.
You can't gesture or stomp your feet twice for yes or something.
Why does that woman think he wants to leave? He's just... sort of a great lump.
You did what I said. Did I hit the right phrase or something?
He may not know himself.
Keep control and remember who is on your side. Of course. I expected no different.
I don't want your pity.
Are you talking to me?
You said you were sorry about the ritual I endured. Keep your sorrow.
I only meant...
You have all the freedom none of our kind enjoy, and you throw it away. On what?
Our people need to reclaim their heritage.
A heritage of defeat? To what end?
Would you truly turn your back on your own history? There's so much we don't know.
It's not my history. It's simply history.
Certainly your people have stories about the Dalish, no?
My people?
The elves in Tevinter. They must have heard of us.
They've heard. They just don't care.
But if they run away, the Dalish would help them.
You might as well say. If they flew into the sky, they could live in the clouds.
What would they eat in the clouds? There's nothing there but fluff and the occasional bird.
This is why nobody takes the Dalish seriously.
It tells of a chasm in the Vinmark Mountains, and a secret that was said to be buried within. Yet when the Chantry went to investigate, they were turned away by the Grey Wardens.
And why would I find that interesting?
Because the champion was there. I can't help but notice you failed to mention this adventure.
Oh, that? I didn't think you'd be interested. Just some business with Hawke's family and a few Carter dwarves who went too far. You're not going to believe me.
I'll take my chances.
All right. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Did you hear that? They're after us. For our blood. But why?
That's an excellent question.
Clearly, these dwarves are insane. Perhaps even more so than Varric.
I heard that.
The Carter doesn't normally act like this. They're businessmen.
I'd like to know who this Corypheus is. There should be answers here somewhere.
These bastards want to steal our blood. What is it with this town? And why do they care about Father?
The Master, Corypheus. Clearly, these dwarves have found a demon to worship. But why would it seek your blood?
I guess we only get that answer from Corypheus.
You, elf, are one lucky son of a bitch.
Is this about the Diamondback game? Again?
I've never seen anyone bluff like that in my life. I was sure you had a handful of nothing.
So was I. You're the one who pointed out I had 4 serpents.
See? Luckiest bastard I've ever seen. That's where I know the name. Tethras Garin should have been the heir to the Garin clan. But he was accused of killing his sister and sent into the deep roads to die. When the real murderer was caught, they tried to find him. They never could. Instead, every Garin heir from that time on took the name Tethras in his honor. One of them became a paragon in his own right, and founded my clan.
I'm sorry. This is a hard way to learn about your family.
So this was one of your ancestors?
Not directly, but a little closer than I like to come to my past, you know.
I know how to harness Corypheus. Use his magic to end the blights.
No. The Wardens knew. Corypheus is too powerful.
Are you really going to take her opinion over Father's? He wanted this thing locked up.
Worth the risk. If he doesn't help, it's one more big darkspawn to stick a bolt in. No big deal.
A darkspawn and a mage. Just what the world needs.
Corypheus calls her, and she listens. She brought him the Carter, sent them for you.
You must help us.
Are you certain this is a good idea?
It takes Hawke blood to open his prison. I imagine he won't stop until he has what he wants.
Isn't that always the way with these ancient prisons?
The light. We sought the golden light. You offered the power of the gods themselves. But it was black, corrupt, darkness. Ever since. How long? The Golden City. The first violation. The Magisters who brought the Blight.
The original Magisters? It is their depravities the Magisters of today strive to live up to. If they still exist, in any form, we should wipe them from the face of Thedas.
treasure we found in the deep roads made us a fortune. The champion moved up in the world, literally. Bought a mansion in Hightown. Everyone knew who he was now. Even the Viscount was taking notice. Carver joined the Templars, just as he said he would. He didn't turn in the champion, at least. 3 years later, the Qunari still hadn't left. The Qunari insisted they were waiting for their ship. But some of us knew better.
Fenris said Daenerys left this at the mansion. Fenris hates that statue. Says it reminds him of the old god relics they had in Tevinter.
It's nice to be here, though. To feel like an Amel again.
I'm going to make the name Hawke one to be proud of in this city.
I don't doubt it. Your father would have said that, with that exact look, too. I just wish we could all be together as a family one more time. I visited Carver with the Templars, and he's so proud of his new knighthood. I guess I just need to start finding you a suitable wife.
So the Seneschal's tax collector won't be coming around again like you asked. Funny story.
I'll pass, but thank you for the help.
Spoil sport. Why you want to squat up here in Hightown is beyond me.
I like the view.
So do I.
Three years. There's still no sign of Daenerys. I'm beginning to wonder if he's finally given up.
This is his mansion, isn't it? He must know you're here.
Would you be surprised to learn that it isn't, in fact, his mansion? It belongs to a Tevinter merchant, one who has evidently given up on the place. Perhaps he is dead. Perhaps Daenerys killed him. Either way, if Daenerys is aware of my presence, he has done nothing.
Isn't this what you wanted?
Yes, but... Tell me, what do you do when you stop running?
You start over. Isn't that what you want?
I don't know how. My first memory is receiving these markings. The lyrium being branded into my flesh. The agony wiped away everything. Whatever life I had before I became a slave, it's lost. I shouldn't trouble you with this. My problems are not yours.
You don't know who you were?
Fenris was the name Daenerys bestowed upon me, his little wolf. If I once had another name or a family, then they were taken from me. But again, this is not your concern.
I might be able to help with your problems. Or give you a few more.
Only a few.
The good kind.
Tempting. You're a handsome man, Hawke. Is there no one else who has your attention?
Do you see anyone else here?
I'm an escaped slave and an elf living in a borrowed mansion. None of those things bother you.
And I'm an apostate refugee. Does that bother you?
You have me there. You raise an interesting point. I'll have to consider it.
You really ought to take that offer, Elf. It'd keep the coterie off your back pretty much permanently.
I don't need employment.
But it wouldn't kill you to make some friends in this city. 3 years and you're practically a ghost.
I prefer it that way.
Healthy attitude there. Forget I said anything.
We're here to serve the Maker.
So what do you do in that gigantic house all day?
Dance, of course.
Really?
I run from room to room, choreographing routines.
You're actually joking. Alert the Chantry. They need to put this on the calendar.
And you thought I was always serious.
Are you an Andrastian, Fenris?
If I say no, will you attempt to convert me?
Many elves believe in the Maker. I ask only because I wonder if your experiences soured your faith.
My faith was never strong. It's difficult for a slave to have faith in someone who abandoned them.
The Maker didn't enslave you, Fenris.
He didn't help me much either.
And yet you stand here free, Perhaps he helped you more than you think.
Hunters.
Stop right there! You are in possession of stolen property. Back away from the slave now and you'll be spared.
Fenris is a free man!
I won't repeat myself. Back away from the slave now!
I am not your slave!
Where is he?
Please, don't kill me.
Tell me!
I don't know. I don't know, I swear. Adriana brought us. She's at the holding caves north of the city. I can show you the way.
No need. I know which ones you speak of.
Then let me go. I beg you. I swear
You chose the wrong master. Adriana. I was a fool to think I was free. They'll never let me be.
This is someone you know?
My old master's apprentice. I remember her well. A sniveling social climber that would sell her own children if she thought it would please Daenerys. If she's here, it's at his bidding. He knew he wouldn't let this go.
They need to be stopped before this goes any further.
The holding caves held slaves in the old times, but apparently they are no longer abandoned. We must go quickly, before Adriana has a chance to prepare, or flee. We must be careful. There were many such holdings once, especially in the mountains, where individual slavers kept private pens. They were designed to protect against raids by fellow slavers. No doubt it's why Adriana chose this place.
Do slavers attack each other often?
They did. What better way to find slaves than to steal them? The holdings outside of Tevinter have mostly been abandoned, but they still exist.
Adriana won't escape us.
Let's hope this isn't a waste of time. See for yourself. The legacy of the Magisters.
They sacrifice the unwilling.
Is that so hard to believe? You're only a step away from it yourself.
That's not true.
Believe what you like. In my experience, mages always find a way to justify their need for power. Are you hurt? Did they touch you?
They've been killing everyone. They cut Papa, bled him.
Why? Why would they do this?
These poor people. This is ghastly. The Magister. She said she needed power, that someone was coming to kill her. We tried to be good. We did everything we were told. She loved Papa's soup. I don't understand.
Is the Magister still here?
I think so. The Magister said they were to prepare for battle. I think she's very frightened.
She has every reason to be.
Please don't hurt her. She'll be so angry if you hurt her.
You're just a slave to them. Property to be used.
Everything was fine until today.
It wasn't. You just didn't know any better.
Are you my master now?
No.
But I can cook. I can clean. What else will I do?
If you go to Kirkwall, I can help you.
Yes? Oh, praise the Maker. Thank you.
I didn't realize you were in the market for a slave.
I gave her a job, Fenris.
Ah, then that's good. My apologies. Let's find Adriana and be done with this place.
Stop! You do not want me dead!
There is only one person I want dead more.
I have information, Elf, and I will trade it in return for my life.
Ha! The location of Daenerys. What good will that do me? I'd rather he lose his pet pupil.
You have a sister. She is alive. You wish to reclaim your life. Let me go, and I will tell you where she is.
How do we know you're even telling the truth?
You don't. But I know Fenris, and I know what he's searching for. If he wants me to betray Denarius, he'll have to pay for it.
This is your call.
So I have your word. I tell you, and you let me go.
Yes, you have my word.
Her name is Verania. She is in Carinus, serving a magister by the name of Ahriman.
A servant, not a slave.
She's not a slave.
I believe you. We are done here.
Do you want to talk about it?
No, I don't want to talk about it. This could be a trap. Denarius could have sent Hadriana here to tell me about this sister. Even if he didn't, trying to find her would still be suicide. Denarius has to know about her and has to know that Hadriana knows. But all that matters is I finally got to crush this bitch's heart. May she rot, and all the other mages with her.
Maybe we should leave.
No, I don't want you comforting me. You saw what was done here. There's always going to be some reason, some excuse why mages need to do this. Even if I found my sister, who knows what the magisters have done to her? What has magic touched that it doesn't spoil? I need to go. I've been thinking about what happened with Hadriana. I took out my anger on you, undeservedly so. I was not myself. I'm sorry.
I had no idea where you went. I was concerned.
I needed to be alone. When I was still a slave, Hadriana was a torment. She would ridicule me, deny my meals, pound my sleep. Because of her status, I was powerless to respond, and she knew it. The thought of her slipping out of my grasp now. I couldn't let her go. I wanted to, but I couldn't.
That's more important than your promise.
It's not easy to discover your principles are less noble than you believed. This hate. I thought I'd gotten away from it. But it dogs me no matter where I go. To feel it again. To know it was they who planted it inside me. It was too much to bear. But I didn't come here to burden you further.
We're friends, Fenris.
I'm not certain I know what that is. Last bottle of the Egregio. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
And what's that?
The anniversary of my escape. Astia Vala Femundis. Care to hear the story?
I thought you avoided talking about this.
Not on special occasions.
I enjoy listening to you talk.
And I enjoy a man willing to speak his mind. Let's see. You've heard of Saharan? The Imperium and the Qunari have fought over the island for centuries now. I was there with Denarius during a Qunari attack. I managed to get him to a ship, but there was no room for a slave. I was left behind. I barely got out of the city alive.
I thought Denarius considered you valuable.
He wasn't given a choice. The look on his face as the ship pulled out was priceless. There are rebels in the Saharan jungles called Fog Warriors. They found me and took me in, nursed me back to health. I stayed with them for a time, until Denarius finally came for me.
Were you with these Fog Warriors willingly?
I'd grown fond of the rebels. They bowed to no master and fought for their freedom. It was beyond my experience. When When Daenerys came, they refused to let him take me. He ordered me to kill them, so I did. I killed them all.
Why would you do such a thing?
It felt inevitable. My master had returned and this fantasy life was over. But once it was done, I looked down at their bodies. I felt I couldn't. I ran and never looked back.
Couldn't you have found other fog warriors? Become a rebel?
Even if I did, I felt unworthy. I had no way of knowing if I could truly escape from Daenerys then. I didn't even know what that meant. I simply had to get away. I stowed aboard a ship to the mainland and moved south, chased by my former master every step of the way.
I have to wonder why you stayed with Daenerys as long as you did.
You have not been a slave. A slave does not dream of freedom or wonder at possibilities. You think only of your master's desires and what the next hour will bring. It did not occur to me that I could be anything else until I had a taste of it.
But there are stories of slaves rebelling all the time. They did in Kirkwall.
The ritual that gave me my markings also stripped me of my memory. Whatever I was before may as well have never been. Perhaps if I knew, I might have felt differently.
How well did you know these fog warriors?
I knew them only a few months, but in that time, I felt as if I truly lived. They were bold, strong, free with their affections. I was in awe of them and owed them everything. And I turned on them even so.
Didn't Daenerys stop you?
The rebels had wounded him. The soldiers he brought attempted to capture me, unsuccessfully. It was weeks before Daenerys was able to mount the hunt in earnest, but by then, I was already gone.
This can't be easy to talk about.
I've never spoken about what happened to anyone. I've never wanted to. Perhaps this is what it means to have a friend.
It might mean more than that.
I have never allowed anyone too close. When my markings were created, the pain was extraordinary, and the memory lingers. But you are a man unlike any other, Hawke. With you, it might be different.
We could find out.
On another evening, perhaps. A last toast, then. To the fallen.
Fenris?
I have been thinking of you. In fact, I've been able to think of little else. Command me to go, and I shall.
No need. Was it that bad?
I'm sorry, it's not... It was fine. No, that is insufficient. It was better than anything I could have dreamed.
Was it too strange to be with another man?
It's not that. I began to remember my life before. Just flashes. It's too much. This is too fast. I cannot do this.
Your life before? What do you mean?
I've never remembered anything from before the ritual, but there were faces, words. For just a moment, I could recall all of it, and then it slipped away.
Don't you want to get your memories back?
Perhaps you don't realize how upsetting this is. I've never remembered anything, and to have it all come back in a rush, only to lose it. I can't. I can't.
You're going to leave.
I'm sorry. I feel like such a fool. All I wanted was to be happy. Just for a little while. Forgive me.
I've been wondering if I shouldn't remarry. I've seen how you and that elf look at each other. I'm sure the last thing you need is your mother watching over your shoulder every time you come home. But perhaps there is still life once your children have outgrown you.
You've been through a lot. You deserve any joy you can find.
Thank you, love. No one could ever replace your father. But it is refreshing to think I could still be courted at this age.
You should have lived in Tevinter. You'd be happier there.
You're probably right.
There, your magic would be a mark of honor. Apprentice to the right magister, you would do well.
Is there a downside?
Only if you're bothered by owning a few slaves and performing the occasional blood ritual.
So they all do those things?
Just the ones who don't complain about how powerless and persecuted they are. Is there something you want, Anders?
You really don't have the temperament for a slave.
Is that a compliment or an insult?
I'm just wondering how your master didn't kill you.
How have the Templars not killed you?
I'm charming.
Did you step on something sharp, Fenris?
No.
Slam your fingers in a door?
No.
Smack your head on a low beam?
Is there a point to this line of questioning?
Just wondering why you're so cross all the time.
Perhaps it's the inane prodding.
Did you ever think about killing yourself?
I could ask you the same thing.
I'm serious. To get out of slavery, to escape Daenerys. Don't tell me you never thought about it.
I did not. To kill oneself is a sin in the eyes of the Maker.
You believe that?
I try to. Some things must be worse than slavery.
Some things are worse than death.
I will not let him become a danger.
I wish you luck. Now, gather a team, and we will begin. Choose carefully, for all will face temptation.
I worry what a journey to the Fade might bring out in me.
Can I come? I'd love to see the ritual. And I promise I won't be a bother.
I have no desire to explore the Fade, but if you need me, I will go.
Let us begin.
With my power joined to his, Fenris would have changed the world.
There can be no honest deal with a demon.
No? You think I will lie then, when I offer your friends what Fenris turned down? You think this slave would choose you over his freedom?
Cast your eyes elsewhere, demon. I won my freedom from the Magisters long ago.
But you fear them still. They have left their marks on your body and your mind. With my aid, you could be free forever. You could have power enough to challenge any who would chain you.
If you accept, you are no better than the magistrates.
But to face them as an equal, What would you want from me?
A moment of your time, nothing more.
I truly did not think what you did was possible. You are a rare human indeed.
And I must apologize for my weakness. I would have thought myself above such influence.
I find there's nothing like being possessed to keep you on the straight and narrow.
Your friend awakened here some time ago. No one is immune to a demon's offer.
I have been thinking about what happened in the Fade. That a demon could have played so easily on my fears disturbs me. I failed you. I won't let that happen again.
The demon was using magic on your mind. It's as simple as that.
And yet she didn't manage to influence you. As for the boy, we shall see what he becomes, and if he regrets the mercy you provided. But that is not important now. Let's just hope we face nothing similar in the future. A fascinating breed. Such intelligence and strength. Do you ever wonder what he thinks about?
I'm not always sure I want to know.
Are you aware that this breed originated in Tevinter? The Magisters bred them. It said the Mabari defected during the Imperium's invasion of Ferelden. Merely a tale, but I rather like the idea they found the barbarians more palatable than the mages. Exactly so. Let's hope your hound doesn't take after his ancestors too strongly, hmm?
I'm sure you have suspicions about what happened.
My concerns are well-founded. This could not have escaped the notice of the city guard. Unless they were involved. Not coincidentally, a number of recent recruits have failed to report. You should start with one of them. Although where you find a swordsman so eager to sell his honor and duty, I'm sure I don't know.
The Hanged Man.
Hangman.
Obvious one, that. Right. Then you know what to look for. I can't imagine this has occurred without notice. There is always a weak link.
This is for you. It's apparently very important.
I'll take you at your word. It's a copper relief of marigolds? Ah, and it helpfully says so. Marigolds. Well, how crafty. Is there a meaning to this that I should know?
Just keep it. I'm sure it's more than it seems.
It would have to be. Right. I'm sure we both have things to do, of varying import. Sir Hawke.
I'm not seeing the sense to this.
Just take this, the patrols for next week. Post it to the roster and just listen.
Really? Just walk over there and post the roster?
I want his honest reaction without the captain present.
You could just have him hauled off.
This isn't about an accusation I can put in a report and explain. I need someone unofficial.
All right. Posting the roster just over there.
I need to know exactly how he reacts. That's key. Thank you.
So much doubt. Unusual, but clearly important.
All right. I can fix this. I need 3 goats and a sheaf of wheat. You'll take them to his mother. It's a dowry tradition. Maybe it will smooth the process.
Don't be silly. A dowry would only matter if you were courting him.
Oh, Meryl.
You're courting him!
Averly, you know you can talk to me.
What am I to say? That a grown woman can't speak her mind? I've been focused on being captain for so long, that's all I know.
But you were married, were you not?
That was a long time ago. It was easier, or seemed to be.
I can't imagine you having trouble speaking your mind.
It's just fear. I know it's foolish, but I can't get away from it. What about you and Fenris? How do you deal with the danger of your lives?
Maybe we're not the best example.
But you understand. I feel paralyzed. I hate it.
I have something for you.
It's a book.
It's a subject you're familiar with. The book is by Shartan, the elf who helped Andraste free the slaves. You know about him, right?
A little. It's just... slaves are not permitted to read. I've never learned.
It's not too late to learn, Fenris.
Isn't it? Sometimes I wonder. I don't mean to seem ungrateful. I do appreciate the thought. I've always wanted to learn more of Shartan. Perhaps this is my chance. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
You're in love.
I am not.
You keep looking at Hawke with sad puppy eyes every time his back is turned.
There are no puppy eyes.
It's all right, you know. Even you can be happy once in a while. It won't kill you. But your face might crack if you smile, so be careful. Speaking of romance, you and Fenris, eh?
taut, controlled body, the brooding demeanor and intense gaze. I hear he still wears the shackles from his life in bondage under his clothes. You know what they say about men like that, don't you?
I'm gonna regret asking you to continue, aren't I?
He can't find a saw. I had you there. You thought I was going to say something dirty.
This isn't necessary, you know.
What? What do you want? I just did what he said. It was more coin than I've ever seen.
That's very good. Now just tell me who and where.
Templar. It was a Templar. I didn't get the name. We met near the Chantry. He said taking these Kunari was serving the Maker. I swear, he even had the seal of the Grand Cleric. True is true.
A fine joke, that. A Templar.
Serving the Grand Cleric, no less.
This is it. This tunnel will take us into the gallows.
With any luck, we'll simply be mistaken for thieves and not conspirators.
Are you ready to help me find evidence of the tranquil solution?
Let's go. There was nothing you could have done.
He was more afraid of me than the Vaterel.
Is that really so surprising?
Paul wasn't like the others. He was city-born, worldly. He ran away from the Denerim and found us. I thought if anyone would understand, he would. Something is very wrong. I want to see the Keeper. You never come to the Alien Edge, Fenris.
I don't live in the Alien Edge.
Don't you care about the plight of our people? Not even a little bit.
I don't need to visit the Alien Edge to know what they suffer. I know it better than you.
I've lived there for years. I see it firsthand.
And I lived it.
What did the Keeper mean the mirror led you to blood magic?
The shard I picked up was corrupted. I couldn't cleanse it without help. The Keeper refused. She said that it belonged to another time and should be left there. So I found a spirit. It gave me the power to purify the mirror through blood magic.
I've never heard of blood magic purifying anything.
Neither have I.
There's nothing inherently evil about blood magic. It's magic, like any other. The power that contaminated the mirror was too strong to be driven out by normal means. If I had piles of lyrium lying about, I could have used that, but I didn't. I used what I had.
You know, if you need advice on how to lay low, I can give you some.
Being short would make for an excellent start, I suspect.
Keep that up, Sarad, and you can keep on hiding like a rank amateur.
What would you suggest, Varric? Cower in the shadows like a rat?
You could try wearing something that didn't scream, "I hate you all, I was a slave."
The markings would still show.
Really? Through anything? That's kind of cool.
Avert your eyes, witch.
You said I was dwelling on useless history. But what are you doing? The past is important to you and to all of us. We must know it to move forward.
Yet I have made no deal with a demon to learn of my past. You had a life, you had a family, and you abandoned them to chase after ghosts. We are nothing alike. Don't even begin to think that we are. You are more naive than I thought.
What have I done to you now?
To me, nothing. Not yet. To yourself, you can't even begin to imagine the number of mages that have walked down the path you're now on.
My clan didn't believe in me. If you don't believe in me either, I won't mind.
And then Hawke tore the door clean off its hinges, walked into the room, and... I guess we'll finish this later.
Have you got a minute, Varric?
Of course, Hawke. Actually, I've been meaning to talk to you. People say you and that elf, you know, the angsty Tevinter one, are becoming quite the item. So, what's going on, Hawke?
Well, 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 I never thought you were the type, Varric. I'm flattered.
Hawke, I know I'm damned near irresistible, but you're just too high maintenance for me. Sorry. Listen, as your friend, I feel like I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't say something. You do know the elf is covered in spikes, like an angsty porcupine. He might have some issues.
In all the time you've known me, have I ever given you the impression that I was turned off by crazy?
Okay, point taken.
It feels good to be captain of the guard, yes?
No, I will not change the patrols around your mansion again. There's already been too many questions.
You wound my pride with such accusations.
But you were going to ask.
Eventually.
I'll look at the roster and see what I can do.
What are you talking about?
You're squatting in Hightown. I sympathize with your claims, but your neighbors have influence.
My claims?
To the estate. Rightfully stolen isn't exactly something I can forward to the Viscount. Be more discreet about yourself.
I shall endeavor to exist with less offense.
Fenris, did you consider my offer for you to train the guard into Vinter fighting techniques? I've heard nothing.
My abilities were inflicted, not taught. I will not pass that on.
Some good should come of them.
No. They have good reason to call it the Bone Pit. Long ago, slaves that dropped dead from exhaustion were thrown into a pit for all the others to see. It served as intimidation and convenient disposal.
Enchantment! No, Leandra. Leandra.
What's wrong, Uncle?
There you are. Where's your mother? Is she feeling all right?
I'm sure she's all right. Why are you so upset?
Your mother didn't show up for our weekly visit. Is she ill? She is here, isn't she?
No, Gamlin. We haven't seen her all day.
Where could she be?
With her suitor, perhaps?
Suitor? Leandra never mentioned a suitor.
Well, those lilies arrived for her this morning.
White lilies? I know something about that.
Don't just leave me waiting. What is it?
There's a killer in Kirkwall who sends his victims white lilies before he takes them. He's murdered several women already.
No. You're wrong. Leandra is fine.
Aveline will get the city guard to keep an eye out. Don't worry, Uncle.
All right. That girl will know what to do. Maybe Leandra took another path to my house. I could have just missed her. I'm going back to Lowtown.
You should help Gamlin look for your mother. You might be able to track her more easily once night falls and the streets empty out. All right. The boy and I will stay here in case she returns.
What is this?
That woman in the portrait looks like Leandra, doesn't she?
This man is either very devoted or very insane.
I need to find her. Now. Mother!
I knew you would come.
Don't move, Mother. We'll find a way to...
Shh. Don't fret, darling. That man would have kept me trapped in here. But now, I'm free. I get to see Bethany again. And your father. But you'll be here alone.
I'll be fine, Mother.
My little boy has become so
You've always made me so proud.
I don't know what to say, but I am here.
Am I to blame for not saving her?
I could say no, but would that help? You were looking for forgiveness, but I'm not the one who can give it to you.
What are the Kunari doing here?
Yes. About that. The relic belongs to the Kunari, and there's a small chance they want it back.
Tell me what you know. You can trust me.
I've always known what the relic is. I just didn't want to worry you.
You're the picture of kindness, Raveni.
The relic is a Kunari text handwritten by that philosopher of theirs. Kuzlan, whatever his name is.
Koslin?
That's the one.
The founder of their religion, the most revered being in their history? That text would be sacred beyond measure.
I stole it from them. They followed me here to reclaim it, and it's why they're still in Kirkwall. They can't leave the Free Marches without it.
Once a thief, always a thief.
Come on. Aveline will be waiting at the Kunari compound. We still have to deal with that mess.
Let me guess. Our friends from Parvalan decided to take over after all.
The Kunari are assaulting the city, and fast. The Arashok planned this for who knows how long. We should head to the keep to rally my guardsmen. Whatever happens, be careful. It's good that we found you, Knight Commander. The Kunari are...
It's obvious what they're doing. The Kunari are taking people to the keep, and may already be in control. We will need to deal with them.
Why would they be gathering hostages?
They're going to take everyone of import and put them in the same place. Those that agree to convert, live. Those that don't...
Charming.
Porchera. You are Basilit An, after all. Few in this city command such respect. So tell me, Hawke, you know I cannot withdraw. How would you resolve this conflict?
Isabella stole the Tome of Koslun. We find her, and you can leave Kirkwall.
And is this not one of your companions? One I suspect you aided?
The plan was to get the tome and give it to you.
Admirable, but I still do not have it. You will answer for the crimes of those who serve you. Their offense is yours.
Arisha Kost, Kunanam Ebrator. You have granted this man Basilit An. By this admission, he now has the right to challenge you.
You know our ways.
I know that respect is hard-won, but it also earns privilege.
What say you, Hawke? Do you agree to a duel?
Anything special I should know?
We fight to the death, you and I alone. Kill me and the duty that binds me is ended. The others will return to Parvalan.
And if you kill me?
Then you are dead.
To the death, Arashok.
Marathas! So shall it be!
Champion of Kirkwall. That was the reward. A fine title. Every noble at the keep owed the champion their lives. He wasn't just a hero. He was now the most important person in the city. Except for Knight Commander Meredith, of course. With the Viscount dead, she stepped in to keep order. Things quickly got out of hand. The more she squeezed the mages, the more they resisted. The more they resisted, the tighter she squeezed. After 3 years of that, It all came crashing down.
I'm going to be trying something, and I thought you'd want to be part of it. We've both been wrong. What I did with justice was unnatural. It should never have happened.
Is there some way to undo it?
I've spent the past 3 years researching the methods of Tevinter Magisters.
Why am I not surprised?
They're the only ones who have ever sought to reverse spirit possession, not just behead the victims. I believe I have a formula for a potion that can separate justice and me, without killing either.
Do you still support the Knight Commander?
I don't care a fig for her, but she's the only one holding back the madness in this city.
Holding back? She's howling at the bloody moon. Even her own people think she's lost it. What will it take for you to see that she's crazy?
Mages in glass houses shouldn't throw fireballs.
We can enter the sewers from here to look for the cellar portrait. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Hold your nose. We'll have to get pretty close for me to tell what we're looking at. I know it isn't my place to criticize, but are you sure about Fenris? He seems less a man to me than a wild dog.
You just don't know him.
I know as much as I'm ever likely to.
That's right, Mage.
He has let one bad experience color his whole world. Surely you want someone more open-minded.
A mage and a hypocrite. What company you keep.
You know you still owe me 5 sovereigns, Elf.
I'm good for it.
Meaning that you'll borrow it from Hawke, probably. Coming to the Hanged Man for wicked grace later?
Never miss it.
Do you feel like a citizen, Fenris?
Excuse me?
You've been in Kirkwall as long as I have. Does it feel like home?
It feels. That itself has been a surprise.
I think I know what you mean. Thank you for that tip, Fenris.
You caught them then?
Yes, a whole nest of slave runners working out of the Undercity.
I imagine you imprisoned them?
Sadly, they never made it to prison.
You always know how to make me smile, Aveline.
Well, we found the tree the wallop mallet's made from. Now what?
Wallop mallet? You must be the one I'm supposed to give this note to.
Did someone ask you to give this to me?
I was given a few coins to hand this over to whoever came asking about wallop mallets. Unfortunately, the person was hooded, and it was dark. I didn't get a good look. Obviously a human, though. No mistaking that. Even hooded, you all look alike.
A warehouse now. We're being played with. Fish, fish, and more fish. Blah. Let's look for those crates.
I think you should go talk to Gamlen. Does he even know about you?
I'm not sure.
Having family might be more worthwhile than you think.
Maybe give him a chance before you write him off.
I notice you hardly ever comment on mages and Templars and such.
It's a lot of humans in skirts. I get them mixed up.
I highly doubt that. The subject comes up all the time.
Tell me about it.
And no opinion, one way or the other.
Opinions are like testicles. You kick them hard enough, doesn't matter how many you got.
That's something.
You've been wasting my time, Varric. It stops now.
Seeker, you wound me.
The champion nearly starts a war, and you're all too happy to bury it beneath your words. You will tell me about the Kunari.
What's left to say? The Arishok was killed and a champion crowned.
And yet we had Orlesians threatening sanctions of every kind and measure. What happened at Chateau Hain? What happened with Talis?
You've heard about her?
We had someone there, but they lacked your access. Whatever Talis was to the champion, it seems like it angered a nation.
Thousands of lives were at stake, Seeker.
Perhaps one still is.
Nicely non-specific. All right, let me set the scene. An ambush, an invitation, a hunting party. All because of Talus.
And of course, there's no one.
All I know is it had something to do with you and nobles. Edge is usually very reliable.
This is normally when we're ambushed.
Why? It's not always an ambush. All right. Maybe sometimes it's an ambush.
Sloppy. You'd think the crows would be better at this. They've been doing it for ages.
I appreciate your help.
I doubt you needed it, but you're quite welcome. My name is Talus, and I've been looking for you.
Looking for me?
Looking for the man who has an invitation to Chateau Haine, to be specific.
Oh, that's what Edge was on about. You remember? Duke Prosper, the one who fawned all over you at the Champion of Kirkwall banquet. He talked about a hunt.
I doubt I'd go to such a thing.
I was hoping you'd reconsider. The Duke is a delightful host, or so I hear.
Let me guess. This isn't just a social call.
I need to relieve him of something he has no right to possess. And I can't do it alone.
You want to rob him?
Well, stealing from Orlesians is never wrong. Or so I've been told.
There's always a catch. Nobody ever helps us unless there's a catch.
This isn't how I was planning to ask you this. I was picturing an introduction with less blood.
What makes you think I steal things just because people ask me to?
I may have talked you up a bit. Maybe more than once.
Wonderful.
What? You'd rather I told everyone you were a mage?
All I've heard is that you get things done. I'm hoping that's true.
Ah, the Champion of Kirkwall. These are honored guests. And I see you brought a manservant or two, already armed and armored. Wonderful.
Manservant.
It's only a cover.
I'd like to cover him with 6 feet.
So these are the hunting grounds.
What are we supposed to do? Beat the bushes with sticks?
We just need to look for signs and be careful. We get this over with, we get into the keep.
And that's where the jewel is?
That's where the jewel is.
Not our prey, I suspect.
Do dragons and wyverns even mix? I don't think so.
So if we drop part of this in the right spot, we might lure a wyvern out to protect its territory?
Good thought. Do that.
Involve yourself in the affairs of others, Hawke. Each time you put yourself at risk, one day you will not be so lucky.
You have a better idea?
Guard what you have. Keep your head low.
That sounds like a way to go through life without ever knowing anyone.
I suppose so.
How well has that worked for you, Fenris?
Hunting for sport. Is it wrong of me to cheer for the wyverns?
Just ignore them.
Do we expect to find this thing? Do we even want to?
The sooner we get the hunt over with, the sooner we'll be at the chateau to finish this.
Just how long has this wyvern hunt been going on?
It's an annual tradition the Montfort began to keep the population down. They breed quickly.
Elves, too. We're plucky that way.
Well, there's no annual elf hunt. Yet.
And the Orlesian nobility is only too happy to help out.
It's a game. The Montforts are so close to the Empress, so anything that pleases them is worth pursuing. Plus, you should really try the Aquae Lucidius. You'll be seeing purple dragons in the sky for days.
I'd like to know who thought of making a drink from poison. Was it an accident?
I'm no hunter, but I'll wager that's a sign.
There you go, Hawke. It seems we're on the trail.
Looking for clues.
Ah, Hawke stepped in the poopy.
Ooh, nug bones. I wonder if a nug call would help attract a wyvern.
You know a nug call?
You go elbow deep in wyvern shit, and I'm the weird one? I had a quick look around. There's one door into the castle that isn't under heavy guard.
So what's the problem? It's underwater? Enchanted with ancient Tevinter runes? Covered in spiders?
I can't get it open. And believe me, I tried. Bent a nice set of lockpicks in that stupid door. One of the Duke's guardsmen must have the key. They wouldn't just lock themselves out of the castle. I hope.
I don't think we want to go digging through a guard's pockets in front of the Duke's guests.
I agree. We need to handle this quietly.
We draw too much attention to ourselves. We should spread out.
Tallis and I will look for the key. Get out of sight and watch for chevaliers or guards.
Let's see what we can find out. Come on.
Where did the Duke get this? This was part of a Fog Warrior's amulet. Fenris has mentioned them. I never thought I'd see one. I assume you have some sort of plan.
I always have a plan.
A good one?
Oh, ye of little faith. The first order of business is getting out of here before His Grace decides we would taste good in the soup. Or whatever he has planned. Any ideas?
We didn't come here alone, remember?
That's it. I'm taking the lead.
You think I'm going to trust you to find Hawke?
Could you stop with the all mages are evil diatribe for 1 minute?
They may not all be evil, but one of them in particular is extremely annoying.
That's it. I'm officially tired of waiting to be rescued.
Why didn't you just do that before?
You said your friends were coming.
There you are. Were you hurt? What happened?
Let's go anywhere but here. You lead the way.
So, back through the castle, then?
There's a better way than fighting through the Duke's entire army. I'll show you.
Let's just get out of here and let the Canari solve their own problems.
I am yours, as always. So we are helping the Canari.
I told you, there are many innocent lives at stake as well.
And how many innocents have the Canari slaughtered? Just how many of these creatures live on this mountain?
Be thankful they're not high dragons.
Good point. A sign of your man, I assume?
Talvashon. Like Salit, but for sale. He must be close.
Maybe you should join the Kyun, Fenris.
We could go together. I'd be happy to sew your mouth shut.
Keep away from me! The Empress will hear of this. Orlais will burn Kirkwall to the ground. All of you will die screaming. I swear it!
It's up to you how this ends. I can help you up, or you can fall.
They never learn.
So what now? You aren't just going to leave, are you?
You think I would fit into your merry entourage?
We're hardly merry.
Oh, think of the conversations. What brand of zealotry shall we discuss today? I don't know. There are so many options.
You're not a very nice person, are you?
You asked if you'd fit in.
Maybe some other time, Hawke. I still have a few things to do, but I am grateful. I want you to know that.
Are you Sister Nightingale?
I am. Or you may call me Liliana. The Divine sent me to investigate the possibility of a rebellion here in Kirkwall. I have some experience in unconventional situations.
Who are the Resolutionists?
An offshoot of a fraternity within the circle of Magi.
Supported by the Magisters.
There's no proof of that.
I bet a lot of mages think they'd enjoy Tevinter's freedoms, and completely forget that few ever achieve the power to enjoy them.
There have always been factions that support freedom from the Chantry, and the abolition of the Circle. We have tolerated them, but the Resolutionists have become violent. They are likely behind the unrest here.
I was only delivering something. You needn't concern yourself.
But you were praying. Or was that part of the delivery?
I was trying to blend in.
Oh, yes. You wouldn't want to ruin your reputation.
Don't you have a city to reconquer?
I am your son's best chance for mercy from the Templars.
Mercy? They wouldn't really hurt him, would they? Oh, you should have seen his face. It just broke my heart. I gave him some money. Not too much. He said he wanted to start a new life.
New life? His new life is spent in low-town taverns, getting drunk on cheap wine. It's a wonder the Templars haven't found him yet. Help us, please, champion. Emile is not a blood mage, just a foolish boy. Don't let the Templars kill him.
Blood mage? Oh, Guillaume, don't say that.
Please, save my son's life.
If there is a way to help Emile, I will find it.
Thank you, champion. An acquaintance spied Emile in the Hanged Man not long ago. He should still be there.
The Hanged Man? Oh, but that place is filthy.
Come, Dulcie. Perhaps you should lie down.
Oh, but the Hanged Man is so filthy.
It is filthy.
Or lesions.
I just wanted to live a little. If you are going to kill me, do it. I'd rather die drunk.
Did you really escape the circle so you could kiss a girl?
Well, not just that. I've read so much about the other things you can do with girls.
This is an act. The mage makes himself out to be harmless.
I just don't want to die a virgin.
You're going to pay for what you did.
It's always the same. Always.
Aren't they in your kingdom? Why not just kick the Templars out?
Ha! Easier said than done.
Perhaps some things are better left alone.
Who bound this demon here and why?
There was a war long ago between my people and the Tevinter Imperium. After the Magisters sank Arlathan, my people made a last stand here, fighting on the graves of our elders.
I've heard of this. A final vengeful strike. They unleashed chaos upon this mountain to teach our people that resistance was futile.
I don't know if it was the Elvenan or Tevinter who bound the spirit, but he was left here from the war.
Something in this house is restless.
I guess the buyer wasn't kidding.
Magic is at work here. Whatever is here is angry. Are you certain it's her?
An elf matching your description on the ship you named. And alone, as far as I could tell.
I need to know if it's a trap.
I did as you asked, Fenris. Now it's up to you. You talk to him, Hawke. I've had my fill for today.
Fenrisis, first of us.
Maybe I can help, Fenris.
It's my sister. I didn't tell you, but I followed up on Hadriana's information. Everything she said was true. I had to keep it quiet, but I eventually contacted Verania and sent her coin enough to come meet me. And now she's here.
She was in Carinus after all.
My sister left Magister Araman's service, and I found her in Minrathus. That made things more difficult. But according to the men I paid, it's just as Hadriana said. She's not a slave. She's a tailor, in fact. Getting a letter to her was difficult, and she didn't believe me at first. But she's finally come.
You're worried Daenerys knows?
The more it seems he doesn't know, the more certain I become he does. Come with me, Hawke. I need you there when I meet her.
Where is she?
If we go to the Hanged Man during the day, she'll be there, for the next week at least. It would mean a lot to me. That's all I ask.
It really is you.
Verania? I remember you. We played in our master's courtyard while Mother worked. You called me.
Leto. That's your name.
What's wrong? Why are you so...
Fenris, we have to get out of here.
Ah, my little Fenris. Predictable as always.
I'm sorry it came to this, Leto.
You led him here.
Now, Fenris, don't blame your sister. She did what any good Imperial citizen should.
I never wanted these filthy markings, Daenerys. But I won't let you kill me to get them.
How little you know, my pet. And this is your new master, then? The champion of Kirkwall? Impressive.
Fenris doesn't belong to anyone.
Do I detect a note of jealousy? It's not surprising. The lad is rather skilled, isn't he?
Shut your mouth, Daenerys.
The word is master.
You are no longer my master.
I had no choice, Leto.
Stop calling me that.
He was going to make me his apprentice. I would have been a magister.
You sold out your own brother to become a magister.
You have no idea what we went through, what I've had to do since Mother died. This was my only chance.
And now you have no chance at all.
Please, don't do this. Please, tell him to stop.
Wait. Don't kill her.
Why not? She was ready to see me killed. What is she to me other than just one more tool of the Magisters?
This is your family, Fenris.
Fenris. I know how hard this is to believe, but this is the last thing you want to do.
Get out.
You said you didn't ask for this, but that's not true. You wanted it. You competed for it. When you won, you used the boon to have Mother and I freed.
Why are you telling me this?
Freedom was no boon. I look on you now, and I think you received the better end of the bargain.
I thought discovering my past would bring a sense of belonging, but I was wrong. Magic has tainted that too. There is nothing for me to reclaim. I am alone.
I'm here, Fenris.
You heard what Verania said. I wanted these. I fought for them. I feel unclean. Like this magic is not only etched into my skin, but has also stained my soul. Let's go. I need to get out of here.
Take a look at this.
A blade of mercy. I remember these. You see them in the Imperium. Replicas of the sword Archon Hessarian used to kill Andraste. This one looks finely crafted.
I thought it might be worth something.
It is. Here, let me show you. These are gifts of honor, given to those who have performed a service for the Imperium. Daenerys coveted them, as I recall.
You don't talk about the Imperium much.
It's not a place I remember fondly.
Doesn't the Chantry forbid mages to rule over men?
Ah, yes. Magic is meant to serve man and not rule over him. In the Imperium, they say that means magic should serve the greater good, which they claim the Magisters do. Do not believe it.
What do the Magisters do that's so bad?
What you call the Circle of Magi rules the Imperium. They control the Chantry as well as the Templars. They claim the Magisters are governed by holy law, but they are the law. They do as they please, all of them.
So they all use forbidden magic?
The more powerful the mage, the higher he rises in the Senate. He makes the laws, he determines what is acceptable. Everyone who wishes to compete must do the same or be crushed. Perhaps it wasn't always this way, but it is now.
The slave trade is still in operation in the Imperium.
It varies from one Archon to the next. One outlawed it many years ago. He was quickly assassinated. Tevinter would crumble without slaves. The Imperium's elite know no other way.
Seems like a slave rebellion would end that.
There are rebellions all the time, actually. Most of them end poorly. The Senate always unites when faced with sedition. One day, things will change. Then the Magisters will see just how fragile their hold is.
I heard that the Imperium has been at war with the Qunari for decades.
Ever since the Qunari landed on the island of Saharan, yes. 80 years ago? Perhaps more. The Archon demanded aid from the rest of Thedas. It didn't get him far.
They've been at war a long time.
The Qunari only ever wanted Saharan, which they have. The Imperium has made numerous attempts to retake the island, without real success. I believe the Qunari are saving their strength, building a massive fleet. When they wish true war, we will know.
Are the Qunari that strong?
They once fought all the lands of Thedas to a standstill. If they wanted to conquer the Imperium, they would. From what I saw on Saharan, they will not relent. They believe even more strongly than the Magisters that they are in the right.
I'd like you to have it.
For me? Yes. I think I'd like that. I'll think of the irony as I wield it. Thank you, Hawke.
You don't need to stay in this pit anymore, you know. Not that you haven't fixed it up nicely.
It's falling apart, and my ability to keep the Seneschal from noticing is nearing an end.
I appreciate what you've done, Aveline.
But you're staying. You could go anywhere now.
Perhaps I don't wish to go anywhere.
Freedom must be a terrible burden, I guess.
They don't understand. Yes, I am free. Daenerys is dead. Yet, it doesn't feel like it should.
You thought killing him would solve everything. But it doesn't.
I suppose not. I thought if I didn't need to run and fight to stay alive, I would finally be able to live as a free man does. But how is that? My sister is gone, and I have nothing. Not even an enemy.
Maybe that just means there's nothing holding you back.
An interesting thought. It's just difficult to overlook the stain that magic has left on my life. If I seem bitter, it's not without cause. Perhaps it is time to move forward. I just don't know where that leads. Do you?
Wherever it leads, I hope it means we'll stay together.
That is my hope as well. We have never discussed what happened between us 3 years ago.
You didn't want to talk about it?
I felt like a fool. I thought it better if you hated me. I deserve no less. But it isn't better. That night, I remember your touch as if it were yesterday. I should have asked your forgiveness long ago. I hope you can forgive me now.
I need to understand why you left, Fenris.
I've thought about the answer 1,000 times. The pain, the memories it brought up, it was too much. I was a coward. If I could go back, I would stay. Tell you how I felt.
What would you have said?
Nothing could be worse than the thought of living without you.
I understand. I always understood.
If there is a future to be had, I will walk into it gladly at your side.
Your master must have been a terrible man to make you hate mages so.
He was. Now he's dead.
We're not all like him.
How often I hear that, and yet how often I find it's not true.
The Keepers are different. They exist to preserve the old ways and to protect our people.
And none of them would ever fall prey to a demon, or perform blood magic.
It's impossible to talk to you.
You pity him. He's dangerous to himself and everyone around him.
I think he's broken the thing he wanted to save.
You pity him because he's you.
Breaking the things you love most isn't restricted to mages, Fenris.
Sadly true.
Your friends are right. Without Meredith, Kirkwall can be at peace again.
It is never that simple. I'd cheer to see her shipped to Val Royeaux. But I don't have the stomach to turn against all that's right and natural to do it.
I don't want to get involved in this.
You are already involved. You are the champion of Kirkwall. Do your duty, or fall with the other apostates.
I won't let her slaughter all of you.
But what of Anders?
Hawke, if you do this, I don't know if I can follow.
After all the evil that magic has wrought, you would still support them.
You sure about this? Even you might not win this fight.
I know we can do this. I believe in you, Hawke.
See reason, brother. I don't want to fight you.
Think carefully, champion. Stand with them and you share their fate.
I'm not helping you, Meredith.
Thank the Maker.
It is a mistake, but I won't abandon you.
Opinions?
If I'd been in that chantry today, would you be waffling? You know what must be done.
He wants to die. Kill him and be done with it.
Belief is no excuse. Sincerity does not justify this.
He should come with us. Do what he can to put things right.
I think I'm sick of mages and Templars.
Whatever you do, just do it.
Here I am fighting to free mages. It is a wonder. Here I am, about to defend these mages in hopeless battle. You lead me to strange places, Hawke.
I'll take you to stranger places than this. Just watch.
A tempting offer. I may not get the chance to say this again. Meeting you was the most important thing that ever happened to me, Hawke. Promise me you won't die. I can't bear the thought of living without you.
I don't make that promise, unless you do.
Nothing is going to keep me from you.
champion's name became a rallying cry, a reminder that the mighty Templars could be defied. He had defended the mages against a brutal injustice, and many lived to tell the tale. The circles rose up and set the world on fire. More Templars arrived at Kirkwall to restore order, but we were already long gone. We vanished into the hills, and circumstance eventually forced us all to leave the champion's side. Well, all of us except for Fenris. You still hear the stories, of course. With each telling they grow, even if, at the core, remains the truth. A new legend had been born.
My name is Zevran Aranai, adventurer and occasional assassin. I must admit, I was waiting for an assault by the Crows, not the mighty champion of Kirkwall.
How do you know I'm the champion?
Slayer of Kunari, Deep Roads explorer, and may I say, one fine specimen of manhood. You underestimate your fame.
I'll assume you're not talking about birds.
Oh, please, do not tell me you know nothing of the Antivan Crows. We are the finest guild of assassins, an object of fear throughout the lands for any man with wealthy enemies. Or I should say they are. I am no longer a crow, a fact they find unacceptable.
There must be more to it than you leaving the guild.
That is offense enough to the Crows, believe me. I may have also killed the last 4 assassins they sent after me, and older men. Oh, and the guildmaster. In fact, if you were a crow, you might make a fortune bringing me in. You should consider a career change. No, really.
I've been hired to find and capture you.
Ah, let me guess. A man named Nuncio has asked you to capture a dangerous killer, yes? What did he say this time? That I killed his wife, butchered his parents, sold his children into slavery? Or did he tell you he was a lawman from Antiva, charged with apprehending a ridiculously handsome fugitive?
He didn't mention how handsome.
Ah, so you've noticed. I credit my high cheekbones and pouty lips. Bring me to Nuncio if you wish, but I warn you, he surely intends to kill you. The Crows do not like loose ends, unlike myself. But you are a man who can clearly handle himself, yes? Why worry? So you can either tie me up, gag me, and then manhandle me. Or you can take me to Nuncio. Which will it be, I wonder?
You're very compliant for a fugitive.
Compliant, yes, and very bendy. But truthfully, I know when I am outmatched. I would rather take my chances against the Crows.
I like your list of options, but does it have to be in that order?
I knew you couldn't resist my obvious charms. It's the accent, isn't it? Excellent. Killing my former brothers in arms is oddly satisfying. I've little reward to offer you, champion, but perhaps this will serve as a token of my thanks. It is time for me to move on. Unless you'd care to get to know each other better, champion.
That depends. How much do you wish to test that luck of yours?
Oh, I see. Fair enough, then. It is time to move on, as they say. I have a little war to wage back home, and so little time. Perhaps we'll meet again, champion.
Thank you.
can't imagine you having trouble speaking your mind.
It's just fear. I know it's foolish, but I can't get away from it. What about you and Fenris? How do you deal with the danger of your lives?
Maybe we're not the best example.
But you understand. I feel paralyzed. I hate it.
I thought you said there was no point in meeting her. I can't simply leave it like this. I have to know.
I know it isn't my place to criticize, but are you sure about Fenris? He seems less a man to me than a wild dog.
We're not together. Not anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Though it's probably for the best. He seems less a man to me than a wild dog.
You're right. This isn't your place.
He was going to make me his apprentice. I would have been a magister.
You sold out your own brother to become a magister.
Your sister's a mage. You bloody hypocrite. You really are just jealous.
Maybe that just means there's nothing holding you back.
An interesting thought. It's just difficult to overlook the stain that magic has left on my life. If I seem bitter, it's not without cause. Perhaps it is time to move forward. I just don't know where that leads. Do you?
That's the point, isn't it? You can do anything you like.
The future of a slave is never uncertain. But I am no longer a slave. Perhaps it is time I remember that. We have never discussed what happened between us 3 years ago.
I heard you had family and friends in Kirkwall. Where are they now?
When the Wardens began acting strangely, I had my friend Aveline take my brother out of the Free Marches. Fenris would have killed himself to protect me. I didn't want to give him that chance.
Did you think you mattered, Hawke? Did you think anything you ever did mattered? You couldn't even save your city. How could you expect to strike down a god? Fenris is going to die just like your family, and everyone you ever cared about.
Of course, a fear demon would know where to hurt us most. We must ignore it.
So this relic you mentioned losing...
You have pretty eyes.
I have pretty eyes.
You elves have such pretty eyes. Even the men. It makes me want to pluck them out and wear them as a necklace.
I wouldn't suggest trying.
Oh, I would never try. Not without reason, of course.
Forget I said anything.
So, what duties did you have? As a slave, I mean.
Not this again.
I heard that Tevinter slaves are kept oiled so they glisten. Did your master oil you up? Did you glisten for him?
I was his bodyguard.
Always close at hand. Always within reach. Glistening.
You have an entire story written in your head already, don't you? You keep staring at me. Is it my eyes again?
You're very lanky for an elf. I like lanky.
From what I gather, you like a lot of things.
Nonsense. But when I see something I like, I go after it.
I suggest keeping your distance.
Now you're just making it challenging.
So who is Bianca?
My crossbow. Say hello, Bianca.
But why Bianca? You must have named her after someone.
Nope. Mirabelle was taken.
The way you fondle your weapon is disturbing.
Hey, I'm a perfect gentleman. In public.
By now, you must see what an injustice the Templars are.
Must I? I see Templars trying to control what they have good reason to fear.
But they go too far.
Talk to Hawke about his mother. Ask him who went too far.
You can't hold all mages responsible for that.
It doesn't take all mages to cause this. Only the weak ones.
Not all mages are weak.
True. Hawke, for instance, is not weak.
You specifically don't mention me.
That's also true.
I'll prove to you that I'm not weak.
Prove it to yourself. You're convincing no one else.
This isn't why I came here. So you're just going to leave?
Fenris?
I have been thinking of you. In fact, I've been able to think of little else. Command me to go, and I shall.
No need.